Every passing second, there are 270,000 ships in all the oceans of the world. If you look at the live maritime tracker, there are so many ships traveling in the Pacific Ocean, Indian Ocean, and Atlantic Ocean that you will notice that these terrifying ships are roaming in any part of the ocean without any obstacles. Whether it is South Australia, South India, South Africa, or the infamous Bermuda Triangle, about which many stories are famous, but the reality is completely opposite. Millions of cargo ships pass through here every year, and still no spot is showing up on the live tracker that is free from these colorful signs. But apart from all this, if you look at this part of South America, these same heavy ships do not dare to go here. Sea route where ships avoid going at all costs is called the Drake Passage, and today we will know that this is the most dangerous part of the ocean. Why does it take on a dangerous form? Welcome back to Past Empires videos. The Drake Passage, which has claimed thousands of lives for centuries, made its presence felt once again on November 28, 2022, when the cruise ship Viking Pillars set out to show passengers incredible views of Antarctica. The 660-foot-long cruise ship had just landed in the calm waters of the Drake Passage when it was suddenly engulfed by an unusual wave. Modern ships are designed to be quite comfortable, keeping the safety of passengers in mind. However, this wave was even higher than the Viking Pillars and shook the ship, weighing millions of tons like a paper boat. The ship's windows were broken, causing 4 passengers to be seriously injured and 1 to lose his life. Looking at the data from the last 2 centuries alone, the Drake Passage has claimed the lives of 683 people, and there is no record of how many ships have sunk here before. What is it about the Drake Passage that is so persistent that it can capture ships that come here? It is the most dangerous sea route in the world, although it may seem quite narrow, but from Cape Horn in South America to Antarctica, it is a distance of 900 kilometers and is called the Drake Passage. The special thing about the Drake Passage is that here 3 oceans of the world meet at the same time: the Pacific Ocean, the Atlantic Ocean, and the South Sea. If we look at the depth of the ocean, the Drake Passage is 11,150 feet deep, while the sea on its left and right becomes 15,700 feet deep. It is named after Francis Drake, who was a famous pirate in 1577. But surprisingly, Francis himself never crossed the Drake Passage. He was a pirate who had the support of the British Queen. He used to rob the ships of Spain at sea, which was an enemy of Britain at that time. Francis Drake was the only one who could cross the Drake Passage because he had the support of the British Queen. He would plunder any ship in the North Atlantic Ocean or any city on the ocean. Eventually, he made such a place in the Queen's heart that he was chosen for a special mission. Britain wanted to somehow enter South America because there were gold and silver reserves in the mountains here. Queen Elizabeth planned a mission in which the British Army was sent to South America with Francis Drake in 5 ships. A convoy of 200 people was to cross the Strait of Magellan in South America and reach the foothills, where it was heard that there were many gold reserves and the people there were very rich. In this mission, Francis Drake was leading the British officers, and they could not bear this, and they started conspiring against Drake during the journey. After reaching the coast of Argentina in South America, Francis Drake accused his fellow British officers of treason and hanged them, and 2 ships leaving the remaining 3 ships there, they crossed the Strait of Magellan and reached the west of South America. It took them 16 days to reach the Pacific Ocean from Argentina through the narrow Strait of Magellan. But as soon as they went out into the open sea, they were caught in a terrible storm. Due to this storm, 2 ships were separated in the ups. One of them returned to Perdido through the Strait of Magellan, believing that Francis Drake was dead. The second ship went towards the Drake Passage, mistaking it for the Strait of Magellan, which was never heard of again. After the storm had passed, Francis Drake felt that he was perhaps a little below the Strait of Magellan. He thought that he would go up along the coast and enter the Strait of Magellan, but in fact he was above the Strait of Magellan at that time, so he continued to move north, but he could not find any way. As he went along, he plundered every small and large village and ship on the way and collected gold and silver. Finally, he ended his journey in San Francisco. After this incident, Francis Drake said that there was an open sea route under South America that could be used to bypass the Strait of Magellan. Of course, the Drake Passage is named after Francis Drake, but he himself never crossed it. After 40 years of Francis Drake's expedition, a ship named Willem Schouten first crossed it. The explorers successfully crossed the Drake Passage and created a route to West America that was used until the construction of the Panama Canal in 1914. But here the question arises, why is the Drake Passage considered so dangerous? As you already know, the Drake Passage is a point where 3 oceans meet. The Pacific, Atlantic, and South Sea meet at this point. And because this path is not much wider than the ocean, when the water passes through it, its speed increases considerably. Due to the meeting of the three oceans, an amazing 150 million cubic liters of water passes through the Drake Passage in just 1 second, which is 600 times more than the water that passes through the world's largest Amazon River in 1 second. Now you must have a good idea of how much water passes through the Drake Passage. In addition, the world's most powerful ocean current revolves around Antarctica, which is called the Antarctic Circumpolar Current, or a CCB, is a fast flow of cold water that keeps circling around the Antarctic Peninsula, and because of this, the warm water of the Pacific and Atlantic Oceans cannot reach the Antarctic. This natural system also protects the Antarctic from melting. Otherwise, if there were no ACC, the warm water of the Pacific and Atlantic would have melted the Antarctic Peninsula long ago. The ACC protects the Antarctic Peninsula by rotating in a clockwise direction, but when it passes through the Drake Passage, some of its water goes into the South Atlantic Ocean. This is why there is a risk of sudden high waves in this part of the ocean, and the biggest problem is that it is also quite difficult to predict these high waves in advance. Experts believe that when passing through the Drake Passage, there are only two forms of sea here, which are called Drake Lake and Drake Shake. Drake Lake means that sometimes there are no waves here and the sea is quiet like a lake, but when waves form, there is no beach level, but they are very intense, and this condition is called Drake Shake. This is also the reason why most accidents happen here, because it looks different but is actually not the same. The exact reason why it remains in a different form is still unknown, but experts believe that this may be due to weather changes. The moist and warm winds of the Pacific and Atlantic Oceans move towards Antarctica, which creates a pressure difference in the atmosphere. They believe that this pressure difference may suddenly create 20 to 30 meter high wall waves here, but no scientific evidence has been found yet. Another fear is expressed in the Drake Passage that when the three oceans meet at the junction, the direction of the three is opposite to each other, due to which a whirlpool effect is created in the sea, which is also called a whirlpool or a water cycle. Due to this effect, it is quite challenging for ships to get out of it, and if a dangerous wave is created during this time, then it will definitely rock the ship, even if it does not damage it. Most passengers get sick due to this motion, some even enjoy it by sliding on the ship's deck, but there have been many cases in which passengers or crew fall into the water due to shock. The water temperature in the Drake Passage is -6 degrees Celsius, and this is the only place in the world where water remains in liquid form even in minus. Such extreme cold freezes the body immediately and a person dies due to hypothermia. Apart from this, the weather in the Drake Passage is very unpredictable. This is an area where strong winds, waves and storms change very quickly. Sometimes the passage is calm and clear, while at other times it becomes stormy and dangerous. The scientific community has not yet been able to find out the exact reason for this abnormal weather here. Along with all these things, many people also consider the Drake Passage to be a unique and supernatural place. Some sailors and travelers have also noticed strange phenomena here, such as the appearance of strange lights in the sky, sudden malfunctioning of the compass, and sounds that science cannot explain. Let us tell you here that the ecosystem of this part of the Drake Passage is also no less than a mystery, because due to the Antarctic circumpolar currents in this area, creatures that are normally found in other oceans are not found in the sea. There are many different marine species found here whose bodies can easily withstand minus temperatures and high pressure. These extreme conditions can be very challenging for other marine creatures, which is why they have no name or trace here, but scientists are still trying to understand the real reason. All these phenomena of the Drake Passage are beyond the understanding of scientific logic. That's why no one has been able to give a concrete answer to them yet. To avoid these dangers and the long journey, the Panama Canal came into existence in 1914. But even today, super-sized cargo ships and expedition ships head for the Drake Passage. I hope you will like and share this video of past empires. Thank you very much for your loving comments. I will see you in the next wonderful video.